So, what attracted your family to move to Lawrence County? Tell me a little bit about the family story. Where did they start?
Our story starts back in the early 1900s. My great-grandfather Mewed, they migrated up through South America into the United States. They were thinking about settling out in the Midwest, but for various reasons continued and settled here in Newcastle. And they began the Joseph's grocery store in about 1915 on Newcastle's south side on Long Avenue. And have been there, was there for till the 1950s, and then they built the supermarket downtown, which was one of the first supermarkets in the state. And that was about a 25,000 square foot store, and at the time that was a big store. And from there, they opened up a store up in North City Plaza, the old North City Plaza, in the 80s and 90s, and then eventually they closed that one down and continued with the downtown store across from the mall until the early 2000s. At that point, I got involved a little bit, and we reformatted into a specialty store where we're located at Chenley Square on Highland Avenue, and sort of formatted it as more specialty, more ethnic, our fresh meat case, produce, frozen, and a lot of the things that we were able to do homemade. And that's where we currently are now.
Very cool. So, what do you think was the reason for your family to start that as a business? What qualified them to do that?
I think they needed to survive.
Sure.
My great-grandfather, Mewed, he was known as a salesman, and he traveled around selling different things. And when they settled here, and just like a lot of immigrant families at the time, they just took up a niche, and that's where it began.
Very cool. So, why of all places, though, do you think that they moved to this area? Do you think there's any significance to that?
I'm sure there may be. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't particularly know offhand, but this area down through Beaver Valley and Aliquippa, even in the Youngstown, there are a lot of Lebanese families and ethnic people, and obviously a lot of Italians and Greek and everyone else in this area. So I think they just sort of congregated where other people were, and from there they started their living.
Very nice. Okay. So you kind of mentioned it's the original location was not where it currently stands, and you kind of have changed. What do you think your business currently brings to the county? Why would people and what type of customers kind of go there?
Okay, well, first off, we do everything in-house. All our meat, we have meat cutters have been with us for decades. So we do everything in-house. We grind everything in-house, cut everything in-house, and we have a full-blown bakery now and catering service. 90% of that is made in-house from scratch. A couple of years ago, we got into about 3 years ago, we got into the gourmet coffee business, which we expanded. We doubled our space at our current location, and we have the gourmet coffee, a bakery, a little seating area where you can enjoy, desserts or coffee or other drinks outside or inside. And I think that's just, excuse me. At one time, there used to be about 5 family-owned grocery stores in town, and we're pretty much the last one standing. So I think, being part of that community for that long of a time, that helps.
So what do you think is the thing that keeps people coming? What is the one item do you think you sell the most of that people are always like, you need to get it from here?
I think it starts with the meat.
Okay.
I think it starts with our homemade sausage. Those are 2 very popular items in town, and also our lamb. We probably do more lamb than anyone around. We ship a lot of that stuff out, or people come in from Florida or from wherever they live. There's so many people that are spread out from this area. They come home to visit family or for vacation in the summertime, and they always stop in, load up a bunch of stuff, and they take it back to Florida or wherever else they may be traveling to, lots of the Carolinas as well.
Is there a certain item that you wish, that you feel you guys do extremely well, that you wish more people knew about? Being in business for over 100-something years, pretty much everybody knows what we're about. We make our own grape leaves. We make our own homemade kibbe.
one of the things we started a couple years ago is we make our own homemade pastas. Cavatelli, spaghettis, rigatonis, a couple other cuts. That's probably one of the newer things that we do okay with, but people should give it a try. It's really good.
That's good. So, what does the business currently do within the community? Like, are you guys involved with any certain organizations? Do you have a partnership with anyone? Tell me a little bit about that.
Currently, as far as a collaboration or partnership, I guess I wouldn't call it a partnership, but a collaboration, is with our coffee shop that we have at UPMC Jameson. They approached us a couple years ago and, about reopening the old Hostess shop. And they were very instrumental in getting that and helping us getting that up and running, along with the Jameson Foundation, which runs the Jameson Hospital here, Horizon and Farrell, and also in Greenville. And they helped us quite a bit in getting a lot of the equipment and everything in place for us in order to operate that. They wanted to have something for their employees and also for the the people that are visiting patients during their stay at the hospital. And we tried to bring back some of the old favorites, the egg salad, the milkshakes, the ham salads, and some of the different things that they were used to having down there. Chalella and Carney, provides us with flowers and gifts down there as well.
That's really nice that they do that, and so people can just stop in and grab something before they go visit a loved one, huh?
Yes, that's correct, and it serves a lot of the employees as well. They're in there every day. We have a nice staff working down there, and anybody's welcome to come in. We have people coming in just for lunch now, like the old days.
Just like the old days. That's what I heard, was like people like to come even if they're not there for family. They just love the food there and just that environment of having that table and of that kind of stool situation there. What type of events do you guys have, or like what kind of sales are pretty popular that you guys have throughout the year?
I would say the biggest event that we have during the year, we do it once a year, typically about 10 days out from Christmas, is a sidewalk seafood sale. And we started this the first year that we opened, and it's been about 17 years now at this location. And it started with just a couple little fresh fish stands with some help from Woolies. And we've grown that into a major event for us over the years. We take up the whole sidewalk from where we are. We've grown it. And the really neat thing about it is that people that come every year, a lot of them we recognize what their order is before they even go through the line. So we've, have a relationship there. We pride ourselves on knowing what our customers want, and that's what has to separate us from the larger stores. And it's just really grown. It's really neat to see a lot of the younger generations keeping the Christmas Eve traditions alive. With the bacala and the squid and the clams and all the different fish, the 7 fishes for Christmas Eve, and it's really turned into a really fun event for us. A lot of work, but it's a lot of fun.
Very cool. And then, what do you think is basically going to be the future for your business? What do you speculate? Are you guys going to expand, sponsor anyone in particular, or collaborate? What would you like to see happen?
Right now, we did our last expansion about 4 years ago, right during COVID, or right in the smack dab in the beginning of COVID, where we added the catering in the kitchen and the full-blown bakery and the coffee shop, obviously. We've expanded into the Jameson Hospital, and we're in the early stages of putting another Hostess shop in UPMC Horizon in Farrell. And there's one other coffee shop location that we're working on that we'll be letting people know about that very soon, that we're very excited about it. Other than that, I would like to get into some production with some baked goods, hopefully in the near future, and try and market it to a different areas of Western Pennsylvania and Eastern Ohio.
Very good. What would you say makes Lawrence County special to you and your family?
I think family is what makes it special. No other place around that has the connection, the family that this area does. How many grandparents are babysitting all day long, or taking their grandkids, or you see them come in the store shopping with their grandparents, and then everywhere you go, you always see somebody run into somebody and there's a pride here. I think, that goes along with it. And, we hope to add to that. We've been doing this a long time, and you like to help, when you see people preparing their holiday meals and things along those nature, that you help provide a little piece of that. People will come in, and I can't tell you how many times they said, I worked for your grandfather. When I was a young kid, we used to take the bus to the downtown store, and we're going back over 70, 80 years now. And there's you have to have pride, and I think that's where it starts. And, we hope to continue that. We're on our 5th generation. I'm the 4th, and I have one of my oldest son works full-time for me now out of college, and another one helps part-time when he works with my wife's family, and my youngest one started college, and he was worked all summer, and they've worked for me since they were young kids. And it's something that I always did, back when I was a little kid. I'd ride down to the store with my grandfather, and you have to have a passion for it. So hopefully they do.
I'm sure they do. It's really nice that you've been through it, so you kind of have, you know what they're going through and the challenging situations that can occur within a work's day. So let me ask you one more question. Do you have any memories of Cascade Park in particular?
I do.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I used to go on the merry-go-round. I was never a big roller coaster person. I remember going down there to the merry-go-round. My favorite would have been the train. They used to go around the circle with the little fountain in the middle across the bridge, and the train ride was probably my favorite. I was never a big thrill seeker. It's still not.
So the train was what made it the best day ever. So that was like one of the things when you went there, you had to do the train?
I had to do the train, and if I could stay down near the creek down there and fish or look for crayfish or whatever, that's something I enjoyed as well too. But I remember, the picnics and the reunions and things like that as well. A lot of history.
What? Oh, go ahead.
And this may be redundant. You can say
Yeah.
the same things if they apply that you just said. But start that as a statement, not to be corny. Cascade, this is you. Cascade Park is really special because blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
I'd like you to, go ahead.
Okay. Cascades Park is a very special place. I do have childhood memories there. The merry-go-round, which was huge. And also the train ride, which was my favorite. Not much of a thrill seeker. I can't say that I rode the roller coaster at all. But then the kiddie land down below, and then I can remember going to the pavilion with my mom or whoever, grandparents, and all the different events, and that were there. Also, I just remember the miniature golf course and the water bugs, the bumper cars in the water that were down there for years ago. I was a little bit older then, but we used to go down there and play miniature golf with my wife back when we were dating a long time ago. We used to go play miniature golf there quite a bit.
Were there any carousel games or anything like that? Any fair games that they had there?
I'm trying to think back. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm
Okay.
sure there were.
Okay. Midway, yes.
Yeah.
Not to interrupt, but in the midway, if you remember,
Yeah.
that skee ball.
Right, the skee ball.
Yeah.
That was right, well, I guess we're right past where Nino's Ice would be, right? Yeah, there was a skee ball up on the one bank there. That is correct. I just had to jog my memory a little bit.
Any competitive things that you remember going and happening there between you and family members?
I don't think so. I can't recall anything there. We were always competitive, so it didn't matter where we were. There was always some kind of race or some kind of game or throwing lawn darts or whatever it was growing up back in the 70s and 80s. It was a lot of fun.
Was there a favorite food that you had to have when you went there that you can remember?
I don't know, probably anything. I'm not real picky.
You're fine. I have the old book, so it's like people apparently love these fries. With
French fries with the
vinegar.
vinegar. I was gonna say I remember that as much from Gaston from Gaston, going to watch and play softball down at Gaston Park they used to put them in the snow cone cup.
Oh, yep, that's what I read. So you have family that's still here.
Yes.
Do you think that they will also grow up to continue to have roots here within Lawrence County?
I have 3 boys. 2 of them they're in their 20s. One has just turned 18, and like I said, they do have interest in the business. And part of the reason we're taking on the expansions and trying to do some of these things is to hopefully I can leave them something that they can, continue to run into the fifth and sixth generations. It gets harder and harder with each generation, but they always worked since they were little kids. Play a lot of sports, so they're competitive, and they have to have a will to win it. It's not always easy, but I hope they stay here. There's a lot to offer here. People were, everybody can choose to do what they want, but I've been born and raised here, went to school in Pittsburgh, and then lived here and raised my kids here. I don't plan on leaving.
Okay, good.